Hey everybody, welcome to my suburban oasis. My name's Soleil and I garden in zone 5B/6A, and we are out in the garden today. We're going to do some random gardening tasks just to take you along as I go. You can see a little bit of the madness as I garden. I typically do not pick multiple projects to do. Sometimes I do. Most of the time though, I just come out, I put on some gloves, I've got my bucket, my cart, and my secateurs, and I go at it, and I basically just walk around and let the garden tell me what it needs to happen next, and I follow my whatever it is that I want to do when I see it. So we're going to start today with the Chantilly lace goatsbeard, and we're going to deadhead that, and then we're going to head along and just kind of work our way through the garden. All right, let's get going. So this goatsbeard has bloomed and it is done blooming, so I'm just going to snip all of the blooms off and leave the foliage. And so I'm snipping just beneath the foliage level on the blooms. You can cut it all the way back down to the ground if you would like to, but this is just what I find to be easier to do for me. There's always so many different ways to garden. Don't ever let somebody tell you the way that you're doing it is wrong if it's working well for you, because it probably means you're doing something right. This is just going to give it a nice clean look. There's no reason why you have to leave these up. You can just, or why you have to cut them down. You can just leave them up if you want to. But for me, this is how I like to do it, and it prevents any additional seedlings that might come off of it. I don't really have space in my garden for another one of these or a spot that I would think to have it, but if I did, I actually have enough here to be able to divide the plant itself, as opposed to having some volunteer seedlings pop up in the garden. This actually did really well throughout the heat wave this year. I was pretty impressed. I don't know if it sped up the blooms being done or not, but there we go, all cleaned up. I'm just going to chop this up for the compost. I kind of like to try to fill a bucket when I'm out here, so if I'm going around and I'm looking for things to do, if the bucket's not full yet, I try to find something else to do, but that's not always possible. It just depends on the day. Also, how much time I have. All right, on to the next. Alright, so in this garden bed, I noticed a few things. I noticed that this rose has gone over. We have our foxtail lily that's bent over here, so we're just going to take care of those two things real quick. So this rose, I want to cut it back. I'm going to cut it back to where I want it to grow. I'd like it to grow back a little bit, so this is a notch with, or a leaf part with 5 different leaves on it, and I'm going to cut right above there. Next, I'm just going to come back and I'm going to cut back this foxtail lily all the way to the ground. It does have some foliage kind of similar to daffodils, which I'm going to let stand. That way we'll have a bloom again next year. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of the Boom Chocolata geranium. It still has some blooms on it, but it's starting to go over, so we're going to take that one out. Well, not out, but we're going to cut it back. All right, let's do it. Well guys, sometimes gardeners get sidetracked as they go along, and this just showed up in my eyesight before I got to the Boom Chocolata, and this is a gold strike ladies mantle, and it is ready to be cut back. I think what I'm going to do on this one is go grab my electric trimmers because it'll go so much faster if I do that. So let me grab those because I want to have those just to chop up the debris for the compost pile too. All right, I've got my electric trimmers now, so this should go a little faster. I just want to remind people I'm not sponsored by this tool or anything. I just like it. My husband got it for me for a Christmas present. Okay, well with those tidied up, they will actually just grow back really nice and fresh and look great for the rest of the summer, hopefully. That's the goal with these. So let's head on over now to the Boom Chocolata geranium. So this geranium is a monster. It has grown really fantastically. It's probably 3 feet wide by about 3 feet tall right now, and it's beautiful. It still does have some buds on it, and it still does have some blooms on it, but right now I want to cut it back so it can flush back out again and maybe even give us a whole new bloom cycle. Right now it's starting to grow out into the lawn, and so that's kind of problematic for mowing the lawn also. So let's get this cut back and give it some more space to regrow. If you look right in the middle of the geranium, you can see some nice new growth that's already starting to come up. So that's what follows the big blooms. And now we've made way for those to enjoy some sunshine and to come out. Well, thanks everybody for joining me today in the garden for some of this deadheading fun. I hope it was great to just kind of go through and see what needed doing and take care of it. I know it makes me feel good to have something checked off my to-do list, and I feel like the garden is ready for a new fresh flush of blooms. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.